Two people can have the exact same skin color and not be related at all. Meanwhile, two people with totally different skin colors can be closer relatives than you'd ever guess. How is that even possible? It comes down to a war that's been happening inside human skin for over 1 million years. Two forces pulling in opposite directions. Let's break it down. Every single human alive, everyone, descends from dark-skinned ancestors. Not probably. This is one of the most locked down facts in biology. Here's why it happened. Over 1 million years ago, our ancestors lost their fur, most likely so they could sweat and stay cool while hunting under the African sun. Great trade for temperature control. Terrible trade for something else. It left bare skin fully exposed to brutal UV radiation. And UV does something most people have no idea about. It destroys folate. Folate is a B vitamin your body needs to build new cells. Without enough of it during pregnancy, you get catastrophic birth defects. Things like spina bifida, where a baby's spine doesn't close properly. It also damages fertility. So evolution did what it always does. It found a fix. Melanin, the same dark pigment found across the animal kingdom, is a built-in sunscreen. It absorbs UV before it can wreck your folate. Humans with more of it had healthier babies. Simple as that. And this advantage was so powerful that it wiped out almost all genetic variation for pigment across the entire population. Everyone got dark skin. Not as a trait, as the default setting for a naked ape living on the equator. But if dark skin is such a good defense, why isn't everyone on Earth dark? That's force number 2. Your body needs UV, specifically UVB, because that's what your skin uses to manufacture vitamin D, which you can't get in useful amounts from food alone. No vitamin D, no calcium absorption, no properly formed bones. That's what rickets is. Near the equator, this isn't a problem. The sun is so strong that even heavily pigmented skin lets enough UVB through. But then humans started walking. Out of Africa, into Europe, into Asia. And the sunlight got weaker. Scientists mapped this using actual NASA satellite UV data, and the pattern is almost too clean. The farther from the equator, the less usable UVB reaches the ground, to the point that across much of the northern hemisphere, there's barely any vitamin D producing sunlight for half the year. Now the exact same trait that saved lives near the equator started to kill people near the poles. Too much melanin was blocking too much of an already scarce resource. So the pressure flipped. Lighter skin let in more UVB, more vitamin D, healthier bones, healthier pregnancies. Same dial, opposite direction, tuned by nothing but geography. Here's the part almost nobody knows. You'd assume light skin evolved once and then spread outward. It didn't. It evolved twice, independently, in two populations that weren't closely related, using completely different genes. Europeans got pale skin from gene variants like SLC24A5 and SLC45A2. East Asians got pale skin from a different set of mutations entirely. Same problem, weak sunlight, solved twice, from scratch, by two unrelated populations. This is convergent evolution, the same phenomenon that made bats and birds both evolve wings without sharing a common flying ancestor, except this time it happened on human skin. And it's recent, shockingly recent. Ancient DNA has blown up the old timeline. Hunter-gatherers living in Spain, Luxembourg, and Hungary, as recently as 8,500 years ago, still had dark skin. The famous Cheddar Man, a Briton from roughly 10,000 years ago, has now been reconstructed with dark skin and blue eyes. Pale skin, treated by some people today as some ancient marker of identity, is, biologically speaking, younger than farming, younger than pottery, younger than the wheel. Want proof this is about sunlight and not type of person? Look at the Inuit. By latitude alone, they should have the palest skin on Earth. They live in some of the weakest sunlight on the planet. They don't. Their skin is darker than the model predicts. Why? Their traditional diet, fish, marine mammals, is loaded with vitamin D. When you can eat your vitamin D, your skin doesn't need to depigment to manufacture it. Add in intense UV bouncing off snow and ice, and there's still a reason to keep some protection. The dial isn't responding to ancestry, it's responding to sunlight and diet. Full stop. So here's what this actually means. The single trait humanity has used to divide itself more violently than almost anything else is controlled by a handful of genes out of 20,000. It flips back and forth based on latitude. It was invented independently more than once by unrelated groups of people, which means two dark-skinned people from opposite sides of the planet can be more genetically different from each other than either is from a pale-skinned European. Skin color doesn't tell you who someone's ancestors were. It tells you where the sun was. Every person on Earth descends from the same dark-skinned Africans. Every population that moved simply retuned the same dial to survive the sunlight of wherever they landed. The thing we've treated as humanity's deepest line is actually its shallowest. It's not a story about different kinds of people. It's one species, following the sun.